Okay, so why don't we, we've done a lot of talking. Why don't we actually watch some play?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah. All right. So who do we got first? Let's see. All right. So we've got Case Johnson versus Jonathan Suarez, aka Suarez. All right. So we're looking at these decks. Green aggro deck. I don't play this that much, but I have seen it work pretty well. Point of this deck being aggro is just getting cards out there as quickly as possible. So you're going to see things like the Blossoming Penguin coming out on turn 2, the Curious Penguin coming out on turn 3. You know, having a 3 physical card that has a 6 vibe counter is pretty strong. So you're gonna be able to start accumulating rods probably pretty quickly, especially if you're playing, something like, what Suarez is playing, Bizbunk.
Yeah, so how's that rod system go?
Yeah, so rods are basically like your resources that you put face down at the bottom of your board. Basically, you'll see in the top left corner of each penguin, there's different fishicles. So a rod turns into a fishicle when you flop it or turn it to its side. So basically, the Blossoming Penguin costs 2 rods. So each turn, you get a rod. If you win the turn, you get an additional rod. So you're not playing in this deck a card or a penguin, I should say, until turn 2.
Yeah.
So, there are a couple options. There's also I think the penguin whose garden grows for turn 2, but I don't think you're really going to be playing that because, the Blossoming Penguin has a 4 vibe counter, and it's a lot stronger in the beginning of the game. You want to put the penguin whose garden grows out down the road. But yeah, that's basically it. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can win this. You're trying to flop a lot of your opponent's penguins, whether it's with Hungry Penguin or Everybody Stay Calm. But
Clam.
yeah, yeah,
Clam.
Clam. Sorry, yeah. Everybody Stay Clam. Sorry, I don't know why I said calm. But yeah, no, it's a really good deck. You obviously see at the bottom left there is the Romulus who roams. 7 costs 7 fishicles, but it's a 12 vibe counter.
That's huge.
It's
a
a
very
huge
pudgy
one.
penguin.
It is a very, very pudgy penguin. The one other card I want to point out that I think is like a really good card that I'm a fan of is Misplaced Forgetter of Things. So Misplaced Forgetter of Things is a really there to basically counteract some different cards that might come up, like a Bunkus or a Bismo or even a Popcorn Penguin. But it basically says that, if a card is in the ice, you can choose that card and basically not allow it to come out into play unless this...
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it actually reminds me of a Magic card called Meddling Mage. Yeah, you just name something and it can't play it.
It's a pain in the butt when you're playing against it. So, like, you almost have to counteract it. But why don't we go to the next deck? So, Jonathan Suarez, a.k.a. Suarez, is playing Bizbunk. My favorite deck. It definitely is probably going to be one of the most popular decks because it's got the most popular card, which is Bunkus, who is the stars. So you see 12, and you're like, man, 12? How am I going to play that? Well, it's really simple. There are a lot of cards in this deck this deck is what we call a self-milling deck, where you basically will get rid of your own cards and put them in your ice, which is your discard.
Yeah,
right?
There's that combo card with the Ascending Penguin, which is actually pretty good too.
That's probably one of my favorite combos in the whole game. So usually the way this works out is you have this penguin called Penguin Who's Okay. You play that on turn 2. That card basically says when you draw cards, you ice that many cards, You ice that many cards that you drew.
That's some great artwork right there.
Yeah, it's that meme with the dog that's on fire. Claire did a great job with everything. Turn 3, a lot of people typically play Brainy Penguin, which basically says you can ice up to 2 cards and draw up to 2 cards. That, in effect, basically then works with Penguin Who's Okay because you're drawing cards, so that means you're also going to ice cards because of Penguin Who's Okay. Then there's the Study All Night. Study All Night, we haven't really talked about actions, but actions are played in the second phase of the game. Actions require Pudge. You'll notice at the bottom left-hand corner of different penguins, they're different colors, but depending on depending on the color, that's the kind of Pudge that's required. So this is purple Pudge. So you've played a Brainy Penguin and you played a Penguin who's okay, so purple and blue. You play that Penguin who's up all night, or studies all night, excuse me, and literally you're drawing more cards, basically hitting the Penguin who's okay again.
So I noticed something different about this deck.
Okay, tell me.
You got like these poker-looking cards. So we've
Oh,
got
yeah.
the saucy actions, right? What do
Yeah.
we got? Up top in the right, we have
We got him, and then not a rod anymore in the bottom left.
How do those work?
So these are rods that can be played as actions. So basically, you play rods in the first part of the turn. Actions are second phase of the turn. You can basically, rods are played face down, and this can be basically played from face down in the action phase. So, for example, you have Penguin who's okay or ascending, and they both are 2 vibes. So basically, Gotham could actually eliminate those because it says basically ice a Penguin whose vibe is 2 or less. So it's a really, really strong card, and it costs nothing. You'll see in the top left, it's 0 pudge. That's right, 0 pudge. It's crazy.
It's free.
So yeah, it's free, and not a rod is the opposite, giving you 2 vibe counters. So what's cool about the game is you can stack actions. So let's say somebody wants to play a Gotham. Well, you can play a not a rod anymore over it, and then it literally cancels it out because it doesn't work anymore. So there are a lot of ways to counteract some of these cards, and it makes for a really fun gameplay. But yeah, I mean that's basically it. I mean Bunkus, obviously, the way it works with ascending. So ascending Penguin and Bunkus are the key combo. Ascending Penguin ices your cards for ices half of the amount of cards that you have in your ice, or the Penguins you have in your cards you have in your ice. So basically, Bunkus can grow pretty quickly depending on how many cards, since you're self-milling. And you want to basically mill yourself to 0 and play the card Bismo. And Bismo basically says, hey, if you have no cards left, you win the game. But let's go to match 1. We've talked enough. I like to ramble. Apologies.
All right.
Let's watch some fun. Okay. So we got Case on the left and Jonathan Suarez on the right. Let's see what they're doing. So right now, it looks like they might be drawing their cards and maybe mulliganing. You can mulligan your first 5 cards 1 time. Okay. I did see. Okay. So he's got the Misplaced Forgetter of Things. He's got the Curious Penguin. It looks like Suarez has some Overwhelm with Knowledge. I don't know if he's. Let's see what they're doing.
Yeah, so during this mulligan process, you're taking anywhere from 0 to 5 cards in your hand and trying to fix that. Do you follow some heuristics when it comes down to what you want to see in your hand still after you mulligan a bit?
Yeah, I want low cost Penguins. I don't want anything super high. I don't, if it's I play a lot of what Jonathan Suarez is playing. I want to get that Bismo card because it's a card that you're not going to use till the end, and I know some people might say, nah, it's not a good idea, but at the same time, you don't want to be chasing for it. So I like to hold that, and I like to have, kind of like Case has right here, the Blossoming Penguin out for turn 2. So let's see, Suarez is up. What is he going to? Yep, Penguin who's okay.
Penguin who's okay. All right, we're going to get this party started.
Yeah, this is exactly how I kind of teed it up. No, I can't predict the future, but I do know the game pretty well. So, yep, and he is self-milling. So he got, Gotham might not be as important against the green deck. There aren't really a lot of 2 vibe Penguins. So having Gotham go into the ice is actually not that bad. But you'll see this is an aggro deck, so you can see right now, like we discussed, Case has already 4 rods out.
Yeah.
He's got the advantage in terms of resources. He can get out some stronger cards more quickly. But Suarez doesn't care.
Ooh,
That's not what Suarez is looking to do.
Yeah, we got a Bunkus in the in
Yep.
the ice already.
So if you guys don't know this, bunkus can be played from your hand as well as from your ice. Bunkus really can be played from anywhere. There are so many different ways. So like that is one of the only cards where I would say you really don't need to have that in your starting five
Yeah. Is
because you're
there
gonna mill so much.
so playing? Have you played a lot of bunkus?
More than I would like to. Yeah, yeah. A lot, a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually maybe like tried, maybe stumbled through it a little bit, but
Ooh, we
um,
got him. Oh yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
no,
Keep
no,
going.
no worries. Yeah, it looks like yeah, it was these type of things like the got 'em that tripped me up when I was like just trying to get my penguin who's okay, online and trying to mill my deck so I can feed bunkus, right?
Yeah.
So, well, looks like that's a stumble out the gates,
But
but
it's okay because the ascending penguin is way stronger than penguin who's okay.
mhm,
And if you can get his Gothams off the table and into his ice as quickly as possible,
yeah,
you want that. You want that. So you'd rather sacrifice the penguin who's okay for for the ascending penguin. I see an ascending penguin in Suarez's hand. He also has an overwhelm with knowledge and a what. There are some really good cards he's got right now. I'm curious to see how he plays what. If it were me, I might actually play it as.
wait, what?
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
It's here.
Okay, so Case has 5 rods, right? 5, yeah, and so he's got 8 cards out there. The what's the bowl cut penguin is
That one is Success Penguin.
success penguin. Yeah, that one's a funny one.
Bring that one. Yeah, I
That's
love
an
the haircut.
interesting one. Um, it's got an action that you can play, but to boost a penguin's vibe by 6, but then it has to be iced.
Yeah,
Full,
looks like they're yeah. So they're kind of not really in the middle. They're in the middle of the game right now. So
yeah, they're towards the. They're. I would say we're about like 33% through the game.
yeah.
Suarez is about to start icing a ton more cards if Gotham doesn't come out again, because he's got the ascending penguin. I didn't see all of his cards, but if he has a bashful swordsman, it's gonna be rough for Case because it's gonna ice 7 more. Oh, we got him. He got him.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. What is Suarez gonna do? Because I mean, he doesn't know it, but he's about to lose his best, like one of his strong cards, pretty quickly, and we only can get 4 of these cards in each deck. So, misplaced forgetter of things. He's
All
probably
right.
picking. He's got to be picking. Yep, he
He's
picked
gonna pick
Bunkus.
Bunkus. That is gonna make it a little bit more
Ooh.
difficult to actually win through that.
Yeah,
Which is tough.
I'm curious to see how Suarez reacts because honestly, like having Bunkus out this early makes things really tough.
Yeah, pretty
Now
vulnerable at that point.
he's gonna have to start milling without Bunkus. He's gonna need some bashful swordsmen. Yep, you got it up right there. Bashful swordsmen. Those cost 3, 14 vibe counter. Cheat code, right? But obviously, it's got this one stipulation that if it's the highest vibing penguin or whoever is the highest vibing penguin, it'll get iced.
So, do you think Suarez actually has it in hand and he's just like waiting just to make sure that or is it better?
I think
to
he's
just
got to play
now?
it now if he
Yeah.
has it. I don't know if it doesn't look like he
No,
has
it doesn't
it.
look like it. No.
What's that 3 vibe card? I'm trying to see that there's that.
The 3 fish one?
Yeah, sorry.
That's probably
the
Brainy
3
right there.
No, it's blue. It's like a blue back. Okay, so he's got Bismo. He's got another ascending. So even if Gotham gets thrown, even if Gotham comes out, he can
Oh,
play it again.
he does have a swordsman in there.
Okay,
Yeah,
it is
he's
a
got
swordsman.
the lightning at the top.
He's got to play the swordsman. You got to play the swordsman. I mean, I'm not saying I know everything, but you got to play the swordsman, bro.
Well,
Sorry, bro.
it makes sense to have. But does it make sense to have actually double
Ooh.
ascending penguin first though?
Maybe, but also you'll see that Suarez has 2 everybody stay calm. Or not a rod anymore, excuse me.
Okay,
Not
not a rod.
clam, not
Yeah.
clam. So he can counteract the Gotham. So he's not. You're right. Ascending Penguin first is good because
Okay.
now he's going to be able to. If he gets out Bashful Swordsman next turn, he's going to get 14 cards in his ice.
Nice.
That's huge. And he
Yeah.
has the Bismo. You just gotta hope.
Ooh.
Yep. So watch.
Big
This is where he is going to basically counter and stack on top. Not a rod anymore. Come on. I know you're gonna do it.
He's trying to find the right rod.
He's got it. Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. Yep, there we
There it
go.
is.
There it is. So cancels each other out. So interesting matchup. Like obviously, Case has the card advantage right now, but
It doesn't look like he has
like
much
not that much.
anything in his hand though.
Right.
So
He does not. He needs to lose. He needs to lose to get cards. He needs to like play some sort of action or
so
do something.
how do you lose? How do you lose vibe check?
Man, how do you lose? You have less vibes,
Yeah, right.
or 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 all your penguins are flopped for an action.
Mm,
It's not easy. It's like you can do it, but like if you're in his situation where he only has one card, it may not be an action, and then he can't do anything.
exactly.
Um, so right now Suarez has a ton of cards that he's able to take advantage of. So he did the study all night. So he's going to draw two, ice two. But he also has the overwhelm with, and he might wait to play this until he gets that penguin who's okay out. But he also has the overwhelm with knowledge. So the overwhelm with knowledge is kind of a cheat code. You can draw a card. It costs one pudge, but not only that, you can play it from your ice and pay with one rod, and put it and then put it at the bottom of your deck. So
It starts to filter a little bit.
yeah, it's a really strong card for being one pudge, and it's also a common card. The beauty of this game is like not all the cards that are considered epics and rares are always necessarily the best cards.
Hmm.
Like Ascending Penguin, as an example, is one of the strongest cards, and it's a uncommon if I'm not mistaken. So like it's really cool because they're not always, it's really easy to build a really strong deck without having to chase after these epics and rares that are a little bit harder to pull in decks or
Do
in
you have
packs.
your own marquee card that you have in your collection?
Oh yeah, I got the Bunkus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got the sketch Bunkus. So if you don't know, sketch cards are made for every. They're basically an artist proof. They're really cool. You have one, right?
Yeah,
Right
I got a
here.
sketch. I got the penguin who is the guardian.
Yeah. So um, basically, though, they're the chase cards.
Yeah.
So there's only 10 of them that'll ever be made, and I have a Bunkus. Um, it's my favorite card. It's the card I played with the most. So, but yeah. Anyways, back to the game. We got the Penguin, who's okay. It's out there
Milling a few.
milling two cards because he's got two Ascending Penguins. Now, what's he gonna play next? He has the Bashful. Does he have enough? Yeah, he does have enough to play the Bashful. He should play that. He should 100% play that. He has way more than 14 cards. Yeah, there we go.
There,
It's
you're gonna
gonna
flop three rods, and we have 14 cards going
now.
to.
He's gonna win the vibe check.
Yeah.
Let's see what Case does because Case has a Romulus who roams, which is 12.
Mhm.
He the success penguin though he can use to actually put 6 additional vibe counters on it. But if he does, success penguin gets iced. He wins the vibe check, but Bashful Swordsman will take it out because technically Romulus who roams will be the top vibing pudge.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really smart play. So what if you flop, your bashful swordsman penguin, right? Use it, get
Yeah,
get
I
it
mean,
going, and then Romulus wins, and then you just ice and you can move on. But
yeah, yeah.
yep, it
No, I
sounds
mean
like a good sequence.
it's like a I don't want to call it a catch 22, but it's definitely a very interesting situation. Like, um, but at the same time, Case can just wait one turn and let the bashful swordsman fizzle out.
Yeah, looking at Case's deck, this actually reminds me very much of the green starter deck. So
Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit adjusted. Obviously,
yeah,
like the misplaced
misplace is
forgetter of
huge.
things.
Yep.
Yeah, but hopefully he doesn't have another one. I mean, well, for Suarez's sake, but because Bismo just went into the ice.
Mm.
Wondering if there's a way. Like, yeah, I don't think there's anything in Suarez's deck that's going to allow him to get rid of that misplace on the board. So he's really just got to keep icing and yeah. Now that he's got the penguin who's okay out, he could start. He could use those overwhelm with knowledge from his ice. But I mean,
Yeah, we got the
let's see what he
Bismo
does.
there. Yeah, hopefully it's just
Great
another one
card.
of those. Yeah, great artwork on this.
Yeah.
This is The equivalent to just winning the game on the spot, and you don't actually have to have
The
15
Baron,
objects and the Baron on your side to
you just
win
win.
the game. You just win.
Yeah, it's a very sudden card.
Yes.
It's like uh, you know when you play this game a lot and you see what's happening, you'll know when it's coming, and you're just like, oh, it's over,
Hmm.
it's over. But we're not there yet. We're definitely not there yet. You know, Suarez is definitely probably iced 60 to 70% of his deck at this point. I want to say like, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, right now, Case has the highest vibe. I don't know if Suarez is going to be able to, unless he's pulled another bashful. I don't know what he. We'll see what he's going to do.
Yeah, it's
But
getting pretty close. We got like
what do we got? What do we got? What
seven.
do we got? Ah, man,
I think Case has 7 rods plus 5 penguins,
he's got 12.
so that's 12 right there. We got 6 rods. All right, and yeah,
Oh, he's playing. Yeah, Penguin who breaks the fourth wall. He's
nice.
going to put bonk, or what? I don't know why I call it bonk. What? So that's going to have another. What makes you ice another card when it hits your ice? So,
Yep.
and then he's got. It's literally 10. Oh, yep. Game over. Damn, that was fast.
Well, there was nothing left in the deck, and
That's all she wrote.
yeah,
I mean,
Bismo came out and ended the game.
yeah, it's yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I'm not surprised. I see that happen a lot to
Hmm.
myself or to other people, but yeah, Suarez was really played it really well. He was able to, he got the cards he needed to protect his ascending penguins, and he was able to, really self-mill himself without having to use the bunkus. I mean, it was gone very quickly, so he was able to really switch up his strategy. Really, and Penguin who breaks the fourth wall and Bashful Swordsman were really huge in that strategy. So it's a really great deck that works well together. There's obviously some ways for it to be broken, but
Certainly.
yeah, that's just a tough matchup for Case.
Yeah, I mean, even overcoming that whole early misplace and just on Bunkus, not just. It seemed like Suarez was in such a rough spot right there,
Yeah, it
but
was. Yeah,
couldn't
Well,
close it out.
when
But
when
yeah,
we saw those cards, when I saw that he had the saucy rods, but like the not a
not a
rod
rod anymore.
anymore, and got him. I was like, okay, I think there's some outs. There's
Yeah,
some outs, but it's like you need to have a bashful swordsman, and when we saw he had that, he was able to produce enough cards in his ice to really get it going, and
yeah,
so yeah,
yeah.
great,
Congrats
great.
to Suarez.
Congrats to Suarez. Great matchup.